Sehr gut. Sehr gut.
I'm a time traveler from the year 2025, and I've come here to kill you, Hitler.
Oh, not again. I'm never gonna have enough time to finish these paintings with all of these time travelers trying to kill me.
Well, I'm going to succeed.
Before you pull the trigger, can I just ask why? Why do all of you people want to kill me?
Isn't it obvious? I'm a progressive, a liberal, a fighter for social justice. And you are a fascist who implemented a reign of terror. And while the effects of your policies devastated the world for decades, soon we will be able to take back the White House, and we will be able to use the government to force people to follow our great ideas.
You want to use government power to force your ideas on the populace. Me too! That's fantastic!
What? No. Ugh. You and I have nothing in common. What I'm saying is there are people in our time with dangerous ideas, and we need to silence them.
Silencing those who disagree with you. I do that too! Oh, wunderbar! Oh, the Nazi movement will not die with me.
Don't give me that! I'm enlightened, and you're as bad as... well, as Hitler. Listen, what I'm trying to say is we are very close to implementing a utopia, as long as we can get rid of some certain undesirable people groups.
Yes, like the Jews.
Yes, like the Jews. Oh.
So, in the future,
Oh.
you also do not like the Jews?
Well, no. But we don't believe in segregating all the races like you do. I mean, except for, like, graduation ceremonies. And dorms. And hiring practices. Oh, and admissions policies. That sort of thing.
I, too, am a fan of the segregation. I'm sorry, I have to ask, is this a real firearm, or is this some kind of toy for kinder?
It's a flare gun. I'm trying not to support America's toxic gun culture. I'm a firm believer in gun control.
Gun control! This was one of my ideas, too. Ban them from the undesirables. Yes, look here. Oh, and your shirt. This is an organization founded by Margaret Sanger. Yes?
Wait, you know about Margaret Sanger?
Jawohl, of course. Oh, she's such a lovely person.
No. She's a fighter for reproductive rights, for women's empowerment,
And the eradication of undesirable populations by means of eugenics. Brilliant lady, very inspiring. I must use some of her ideas in our socialized healthcare system.
Socialized healthcare? That's not your thing. That's our thing.
No, it's very much my thing. Did you know that Nazi means National Socialist German Workers' Party? Nazi is just more catchy. Nazi. Just rolls off the tongue.
No. This can't be true. This has to be some sort of mistake. We are nothing alike. You're Adolf Hitler, evil right-wing fascist dictator, and I'm a feminist restorative justice advocate. And a vegetarian.
You're a vegetarian? Me too!
Okay, I am so confused right now. I came here with a clear goal in mind to kill the most evil man who I've ever lived. Besides Ronald Reagan. But now that I'm meeting you in person, you're not at all what I thought you were. And your painting is actually really good. What do you call it?
I call it Ein Reich ohne Juden.
Wow. I don't know what that means, but it sounds beautiful.
It does, doesn't it?
Hey, folks, welcome to the program. Today is about you and what you think. That's what I'm interested in, you and what you think. We've done this before. Now I think it's time to do it again. It's 10 questions. What do you think's going on? I want to know what you think is going on What's out there? What's going on? What's happening? And what do you think about the things that are trending? I get all of these from Twitter. Watch comments that people are making on Twitter. And it helps me kind of see where people are, should we say, debating things back and forth. Yes, my voice is beginning to rebound. Not quite, right? Joe says, I don't think we want to know what's in his head. Just keep up with your penicillin. You'll eventually heal, Joe. Anyway, folks, that's what we're going to do. We're going to ask the questions. I'll put you on screen, right? If you're in X and Twitch and Facebook, you pop up on one, Rumble on the other. I think I can patch it in, but I want to know what you think about the things that we're facing today. I guess primarily, to say it better, the people that are heading things up for us today. Today's program is brought to you by the fine folks at Goldco. What I'm asking you to do is go to jovanlovesgold.com. That's simple. jovanlovesgold.com. I want you to request your free gold and silver kit today, because now's the time to protect your money with gold and silver. You've seen gold and silver go through the roof. But what I am more concerned with is what's going to happen when everything moves to digital dollars. And more importantly, when you understand how much the government mucks every one of us, find muck. Well, I worry about many who have retirement accounts, savings accounts, 401, retirement savings, 401ks, IRAs, etc. If you try to get a hold of that money, if you needed it for some reason, they could ding you. Some of them up to 50%. I think that's nuts. Please go to jovanlovesgold.com. Request your free information. They'll be happy to help you. And by the way, I want to say thank you to all the people that have helped preserve our full forensic archives of our work in Arizona. You can see how it's all heating up. It's all becoming relevant. And you watch, it's amazing to me that when people talk in Arizona or talk to a lawmaker, they flip out, realizing that all the data is there, can be recreated, rerun, the whole bit. It's like they didn't even know what an audit was in the first place, and that auditors have to keep their information by law 7 to 10 years after their last report. And we're still working on it. We still have lots to do, lots to figure out in this mess. And so it terrifies them. It should. Look at what's going on in Georgia. But you look here in Maricopa, they failed in every category, folks. They know it. And it worries me. It worries me because they're padding Kamala's votes over 75 million now. It's going to be one of the questions I'm going to ask you today. It's a very tough question, but I want to see where you fall on it. Anyway, share this program, please, right now. And then be prepared to answer on screen. Right? It's easier, by the way, for me to put your answer and information. I'll give you an example. Hang on. Gabe's grandma birthday. Happy birthday, dear. Right? I can put you on screen like this. If you're on Twitch, X, or Facebook, although I don't see any Facebookers commenting today. That's weird. Anyway, Twitch, X, or Facebook, I can pop you up on screen just like this, very easy. Okay? There's Gabe's grandma. Everybody should have a hot grandma, don't you think? Anyway, okay. So, folks, we're going to share this program. Share it out to your friends. It's just a good way for them and you to share your sentiments about what's going on. You got 2 minutes.
Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The historic Maricopa County full forensic audit effort processed 20,895,610 digital and forensic images of varying formats, resulted in 208 million individual evidence-proof files. The system processed over 58 billion forensic measurements, resulting in over 2 trillion individual base computations. No hopium, no hype, just hardcore forensic evidence. please make sure the Maricopa County Full Forensic Audit Archives survive. Donate now. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. We can't do it without you. We need...
Warning. The following program has been rated Dilligaff and is intended for open-minded audiences. If the truth offends you, or if you are allergic to focused intensity, intellectual athleticism, or the occasional F-bomb or even irreverent humor, please switch off now. If your delicate sensibilities need to be worried about or addressed, might we recommend the Underwater Basket Weaving channel to you? Otherwise, sit back, enjoy the wisdom, insight, and wicked sense of humor.
Cut the crap. How many times a day do you want to say that to politicians, the elite, the loony liberals, the fake news media, and the gender-confused, emotional socialist snowflake crowd? Cut the crap is your secret weapon for fighting for our freedoms and our great republic. It all begins with a massive mental enema, freeing you from the toxic news and politically correct views, which constipate your consciousness with stinking thinking. Your host, Jovan Hutton Pulitzer. He's known for calling out politicians and telling them to cut the crap. You've seen him on virtually every television network and listened to him on Coast to Coast Radio. And now he's here to help you learn to fight for America. Culture, race, and American politics. They all have one thing in common. They all need to cut the crap. Now, here's your host, Jovan Hutton Pulitzer.
Okay, guys, today's program is your program. It's your program every day. But what I want to do is I want to get your feedback. I want to see your feedback. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a series of 10 slides, 10 questions. And I want to know what's going on with you. Now, if you're over on Facebook, if you're over on X, right? If you're over on Twitch and watching, it's very easy for me to pop you up on screen if you're there. Rumble, I can kind of tune you in too. Let me make sure. Let me see if I can. Let me see how I can take that screen. I popped it up on a different screen, but I want to see if it'll let me share that as an individual pop out. Yeah. Look at that. There you go. Okay, so I've got you there on Rumble too. Pop you up, show your comments, let people read them. Get ready. Answer honestly. I'm looking for good factual answers. A lot of this we can make a ton of fun of. And, it's not beneath me to make fun of or mock something. But I really want to kind of know your direct opinions. I'll put it up. There's a delay between us. But then I'm going to let the world, and I'll read your comments about what's going on. Like, here's the first one. Get ready. I'll kind of give you a good tone of some of the things we're going to talk about. Ready? Question number 1. Bannon. Bannon, you've been watching this unfold. Is this bullshit? All the stuff you see going on about Bannon. Is it bullshit? Right? Or is it an attack? That's the question. Bullshit or an attack? Now, many of you have your own opinions on this, but I want to know if you think it's bullshit or attack. Now, some of you are saying, well, I haven't followed. Okay. Many of you are saying that Bannon is controlled opposition. Right? Let me see if let's see if I can go up a little bigger. Ready? Don't. BS, don't like Bannon. He's screwed the pooch. BS. He's a perv. Don't trust him. Douche. Thank you. Reminding me what I have to do, Mr. Hater. But thank you. He supports Lindell, so BS. hides behind the cross. I didn't know that about Bannon. Don't watch Bannon anymore, linked to Epstein. So that's kind of what I'm asking is, what are your thoughts of Bannon? Some of you are saying he's dirty. Some of you are saying he's an opportunist by nature. Morality is not a strong suit. Right? Never liked him. Some of you are saying he's more linked to China than Epstein. So now you kind of see how this works. I'm just asking the questions that you see this trending. Somebody, a few times I'm putting out their questions. I want to know what you think. A few people have gotten mad at me. Oh, why you're attacking team players or whatever. And I go, I don't judge people. This is for me. I said, Bannon's a patriot or he's this or that. And I said, I don't judge people by them telling me they're a Christian. In fact, I run the opposite direction. If you have to tell me what a great Christian you are, I'm pretty sure you're a rat bastard. So don't ever, great Christian, God's one. I also don't go by the label patriot. I go by what the person does. Now, I've only met Bannon through video communication here when, hosting the big events like Flag Day. Bannon was one of the guests that was hosting. And he was polite and whatever. But past that, I have no experience with Steve Bannon. Conversely, I've never been on Steve Bannon's show. Well, I take that back. I was scheduled to be on Bannon's show. And when it got down to it, it was two other people, quote unquote, in election integrity. I was told, well, they're just going to use these two, which were people that weren't really in the audit and stuff. And so that kind of set the tone for me of where Bannon is on it, what Bannon covers, what Bannon thinks is important or is not important. And for me, his views on election integrity are identical to the GOP. Ignore it, hope it goes away. So that's all I have. So on this Bannon debate, I'm kind of more, let's see. Some people are saying it's an Elon psychological operation. Elon and Bannon didn't like each other anyway. I don't put Bannon and Elon in the same group. I think Elon has a lot more to lose if he was just bullshitting than Bannon. Right? Much more. And I think it takes a lot for somebody like Elon to call out somebody like Bannon. I don't think Elon, in my take, it's not psychological warfare. He's calling it out. And so I honestly don't know. I don't have a dog in that race, and I can only tell you the very few things I know. One, I don't have any actions with them, so I can't really give you an opinion. I know the President Trump booted him out and had serious problems with him. I know that. Past that, you can see a lot of stuff. You can hear a lot of stuff about the wall and the money and fees and all this stuff. I don't know. And it doesn't make a difference in my life. And I don't watch other people's stuff. So it doesn't really matter to me. Personally, I really don't give a shit. And I kind of default that most people are bad, especially if they have the traditional GOP people on early. They go right to the category of bullshit. Right? That's it. Okay, here's your next one. Get ready. What do you think about the Republican Party? What do you think about the Republican Party? You know, I'm gonna go back to Bannon. Somebody just wrote here, because I keep on seeing this. I heard he was good at strategic planning for military operations. Can I ask you a question? Where do you hear that? Hold on. I do see this typical thing. Oh, he's undercover. You know, kind of like the Q stuff. President Trump's still running, but it's all undercover. It's a setup. I see a lot of that recycled. I don't know. But have any of you heard that? Right? Are any of you heard that? Let me ask you a question. Bickford, I guess you're talking about Elon still? Both rotten, corrupt, and castrated by lobbying? Or are you answering on the Republican one? Let me know, and I'll know, right? But let's just see. Based on what's publicly documented and reported, there is no evidence at all Steve Bannon has planned or directed military operations, tactical operations, missions run by any armed forces. What is documented, he's been a military veteran, and he's a political influencer. He served in the United States Navy, but he served as a secretary, a special assistant to the chief of naval operations at the Pentagon, which means he's been exposed to the national security work, but he says he has nothing at all to do with planning military operations. Let's see. Early in Donald Trump's, he had a policy adjacent role in 2017, placed on the National Security Council Principals Committee, and then was removed. Said he had some high-level exposure, but had no authority over troops. So there's no thing that he planned military operations of any type, or that he had influence in the decisions. Could he express his opinion politically? Yes. And that he did have proximity to national security discussions in 2017 temporarily. There's the information. So I don't know. I really don't know. But okay. Is that playing into, well, it's really psychological warfare and he's doing this and that and that and this and this and that? I don't think so. But I do think that's a common excuse. Well, it's an undercover sting. And I'm not talking about Bannon. We'll talk about somebody else. He only played like he had sex with kids and ate pizza and hot dogs. It wasn't real. He was just infiltrating it. Do you follow what I'm saying? So I don't know. Okay, let's go back to the GOP. Folks, what I'm doing is 10 questions. I want to do these. And somebody says, well, he still went to jail. Okay. Let me give you another twist. Is that okay? Many times the system will try to incarcerate people or threaten people with incarceration or lawsuits to attempt to do two things. See if in fact they know anything on upper echelon dirt. That's number one. What they primarily do is try to convince you you're going to go to jail for life, and they will lead you along a track of making up something to implicate someone else thereafter. So again, that's just a political tactic. Again, I don't put much credence in whether it went to jail or not, especially under Biden era. Right? If I had to characterize him, he's political. Okay. RNC. Where do you come down on the RNC? Somebody says, if it wasn't for Bannon, there never would have been Trump 1. Let's run that to ground. I'm going to put that out there. Eric says, if it wasn't for Bannon, there never would have been Trump 1. Okay, how many of you, when you voted for Donald J. Trump, be honest, you voted for him because you liked him and you maybe saw his rallies, etc., and you made a decision, versus you voted for him because Steve Bannon said do it and you saw Steve Bannon talk about it? Answer it honestly. We're talking about 45. We're talking about Trump 45. Is that why any of you, I want to hear from you if you did any of you make your decision on Donald J. Trump because of Steve Bannon? Right? I just want to know. Eric says that it wouldn't have been, there would have been a Trump 1 if it wasn't for Bannon. I for Trump. Most people say they're voted for Trump because they loved him. Everybody so far is saying Bannon had no influence, and I think we would get a good spattering across the audience of people's view. Let's see. People are saying never heard of Bannon until he jumped into podcasting. Not me neither. Bannon had no influence. I voted for Trump because I like Trump. No one made me. I voted for Trump because he was a businessman. I voted for Trump because I liked him. Had nothing to do with Bannon. Most people are saying they didn't know who Bannon was. I would tell you, Eric, I think it worked in reverse. I think Trump made Bannon, not Bannon made Trump. Just my own opinion. Most people are saying that. They know of Bannon because of Trump, not because Bannon made Trump. So I'm not sure I agree with you there, but I understand people are saying that. But man, that's like discrediting everybody, right? Period. That's like discrediting everybody for making a good decision. So, well, they did it because Steve Bannon said. And I think, look, it's bigger the other way around, right? Trump is the one that makes people. Just a thought. Just a thought. Right? I voted Donald J. Trump for him. Okay. Debbie, let me make sure I got what you're saying. Are you saying you voted for Donald J. Trump because of Bannon, or you voted for Donald J. Trump because Trump was Trump? And a platform doesn't mean anything, even when I have a platform. There you go. Okay, Rich, I didn't know who the hell I was until many of you didn't know who the hell I was until the election. Probably the vast majority. Yet I've been on, had at that point already been on TV for decades. Coast to Coast Radio with 770 affiliates, Discovery Channel, History Channel, Science Channel, you name it. You find people how you find people. There you go. Trump was Trump. That's why she voted for him, because Trump was Trump. So I'm not sure I agree with that one sentiment. I'll stay on this one. I won't go back. Republican Party. Right? Rotten or neutered? Is the Republican Party broken? Is the Republican Party broken? Or is the Republican Party just neutered? What do you think? Some people saying GOP fake and gay, worthless, ineffective, sold out decades ago. Both uniparty, kid, flockers, zombie Republicans, shattered. Well, no, they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. You're correct. Demolished, broken, neutered by choice. Same as a pride parade. Hey, Chuck. Opposed opposition to go to jail for short enlists, I think, are paid well to support a political narrative. There you go. That must be back on Bannon. I happened myself. I think the Republican Party is, dare I say, full of shit. I dared. I do say it. I don't think they're rotten. I don't even think they're neutered. Personally, I think they're doing exactly what they want to do, how they want to do it. And you don't pull off something like this in 2020 in a Republican state without the help of the Republicans. I'll tell you an interesting thing. When the liberals and Arizona lawmakers understand we still have all the audit information, it's no big deal. They go, it's an auditor. When a Republican in Arizona hears, well, he still got all the information, he still does it, they go, oh my God, what? That was supposed to be gone. I think it says a lot. We have a uniparty, folks. We don't have two parties. I think most people agree with that. They're rhinos. They're lazy. They're crap. Many of us, like Carm says, done with all of them. Full of shit. I think we got our definitive view on the Republican Party, don't you? Okay, get ready. This next one's going to be tough, but I want you to listen to how I'm phrasing it. And a few of them are going to get tougher. Okay. Get ready. Satanic cabal. Is there a satanic cabal running the Western world, or is that a rumor? Now, the reason I'm even asking this is one of the things that's trending on X is the Russians talking about the West is under the infiltration of a massive satanic cabal. That's why I'm asking this question. Do you think in play there is a satanic cabal running the Western world, or do you think that is total BS? A lot of you are saying, hell, it's the whole earth, or 1,000%. I believe so. I agree with Russia. I would have never, at Montana, you're right. It's the only explanation that of this craziness. I do think demons run us. I do, right? Lee, I haven't watched the Fall of the Cabal series. I'll try to look into it. Many have believed they are. Right, look at the Super Bowl shit and the stars. Right? But let me ask you a question. Does this mean there's a West and an East and a North and a South cabal? Are they competing factions? And yes, you're right. We live in Satan's realm. And yes, right smack in the middle of this is the bullshit of Islam. You're right. I also, too, think Satan's having a field day. Like, kind of no shit, man. But you're right. We live in Satan's domain. All sides, I believe, are corrupted. It's all over the place. Right? Tool for blackmail, sex, money, fame, powerful thing. They get you in. They get you cornered. Right? You're right. Satan's not hiding. Satan's spitting and laughing in our face. It's the entire world. And, in fact, they are after us. No doubt. Big question. I knew it would be. I want to tell you, though, it's scarier, right? It's scarier when you just deal with somebody who's evil. That's pretty scary, right? But if we make the leap just from evil, bad, horrible, whatever, right? If we make the leap evil like a serial killer, like an Ed Gein or something like that, and we add that little bit that they are believing they are empowered or under the power of Satan, and then you understand Satan's always been around, Lucifer, and you understand even from the biblical standpoint, I think it gets a little scarier because then it's evil people who believe they have supernatural powers and are empowered by the all-empowering evil. I think that's even scarier. Myself. Don't know about you. What we're doing, folks, is we're doing 10 questions. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you think on these topics. I'll put your, right? Whatever you say on the screen and stuff, I can pop it up. Get ready. Here's the next one. Pam Bondi. Again, I get all of these from what's going on Twitter. I'm watching my Twitter. I'm watching what people are talking about. Pam Bondi. Worthless or terrified? Worthless or terrified? I know you are saying, do your job. Everybody's saying, do your freaking job. Is she worthless? Or is she terrified? And you're right, she can't tell you who she's investigating. She can't tell you who she's investigating. It's stupid to even ask that, but they do. But most of you, look, I want your personal opinions. If you dig her stuff, great. Some people are waiting. Is she going to strike at the right time? Eric's upset because she's a scam blondie. Oh, I get it. Play on the name instead of Pam Bondi, scam blondie. I got it. Took me a minute. Duh. What is she? Half snake? Tube steak? I don't know. What is she? Frank says he's got an unpopular opinion. Let her cook. Taking down a 1,000-year-old cabal doesn't happen overnight. You're right. Some are saying that Trump wants her to help keep peace. Gail says, look, I faced her off in court. She was supporting the system. That's definitely a personal opinion. There you go. But this is a big one. I sense, for me, what I sense is going on is people are fed up with Pam Bondi. We're into the second year of the administration. No indication of anything. Yes, they could be playing it close to the vest. None of us know. Come on. None of us know. None of us know. Yes, very close with Susie Wiles. Susie Wiles still runs a lot of pharma stuff, big pharmacy stuff. So did Pam Bondi. They're close. I know that. But does that What is it? Great looking woman. Right? I've never met her. I've never met her, but I don't know anything. Right? Craig says, maybe I don't pay attention to many things I cannot control, but I understand people want action and theater is stupid. You better believe it. And there's this shit of who we are today. Nobody's patient. Nobody's patient. Some says too young and immature. I'm not sure about that. She's got some prosecutorial time underneath her. I don't know. Debbie says she only trusts me and Donald J. Trump. Thank you. I could see Sidney Powell in that position. Yeah, she's 60. Looks great, huh? Everybody should look that good when they're 60. Right? It's Pam Bondi 60. Hang on. Let's see if Pam Bondi is. Uh, 60, I'm asking. Yes, Pam Bondi is 60, born November 17th, 1965. Good for her. But the question is, are we seeing somebody who's just worthless or terrified? What is it? Glitch Glam Ferry says she worked alongside Obama's DOJ. Thinks she's a system girl. She was one of the ones long ago that I understand was involved in Epstein and did not do much about it. Some are saying she's had a lot of facial work. Well, happens when you're hot blonde. You get a lot of stuff for your face. I don't know. Who knows? Robbie says she's compromised Barbie. Some of you are saying she is, let me see if I can go up a little bigger. Somebody's saying she's not gonna attempt any action she can't win. For me, you either think you can win it and you go after it or not. Okay, here's your next one. I want you to be honest. Again, where do I get these questions? They come from what's going on Twitter, what I'm watching you talk about. And that's what I want to know. I'm watching what other people talk about, what people go back and forth over. You ready? Here it is. It's starting up. President Trump. Is President Trump in on this? Or is he just being deeply sabotaged? I know that's a tough question. I'm not afraid to ask the tough question. I'm watching it pop up. I'm watching them get called out in a whole different way. Is President Trump in on it? Or is he sabotaged? I know personally, in many ways, he's sabotaged. Right? Promethean action. The president is rebuilding the American system. Goes back to that satanic cabal stuff. Tough, but you're not going to undo it instantly. Many of you are saying sabotage. The reason I ask this is like 79 Bird says, they're starting to wonder. Now you understand why I'm asking this question. People are starting to ask that question. I'm watching people with power who have always loved President Trump asking that question. You got to admit, I don't think anybody else could do it. Many are saying he's sabotaged. Many say, why the fuck is he not listening to us? I know he's listening. The difference is between getting things done. Trump is not going to run in 2028. Not going to happen, just letting you know. And yes, the swamp is deeper and wider and shittier and stinkier than it. I don't know. Somebody said, according to Mike Davis, the indictments are coming in for the Florida deep staters. Navigating a minefield. He's cleaning house, doesn't care about feelings, which is good. Trump is our only and last hope. You got a lot of comments on this. You're right. He's surrounded by snakes. Many are trying to sabotage him. You're right. We're going to find out for sure in 3 years, aren't we? Frank says, I trust Trump bigly. Trump forever is a real thing with the Board of Peace. Right? Slow and steady. I can tell you President Trump knows far more than he lets on. President Trump is far more in the trenches than you could ever imagine. He's on it. I can tell you that. And I know it's tough, but that's why I'm asking it. You're saying, arrest the entire DNC leadership for terrorism and treason. Fucking throw in the GMP. Good question. How long did it take for Jesus to finish his work? Not necessarily a great analogy, but it's been in the works for a couple thousand years. There you go. I'll leave it with this one because this is true. President Trump's work means absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing if we don't learn our responsibilities as Americans. Amen, brother. But I know stuff like that, Craig. I know stuff like that comes from you all the time because I know you're in the trenches actually fighting this in real time. Okay. Next one, I'm going to do a little bit of context on this one. I'm going to show you a slide first. Then I'm going to give you a little background information. Then I'm going to show you a slide again. The question is, Alex Jones, is he a prophet or puppet? Now, let me tell you why I'm asking this. Alex Jones the other day came out with the following. We will not win the midterms. I've told you that. Writing's on the wall for many of us. But Alex Jones said, we will not win the midterms. I've told you that. They will again impeach Trump. I told you that. And that they're going to work to incarcerate Trump and they'll be able to do it. But Alex Jones just recently added, we'll lose the midterms. They will impeach President Trump and find him guilty. And then President Trump will have a stroke and die because they poisoned him. Now, I don't know if you saw that. He has said in the last few days, we will lose the midterms. They will begin impeachment proceedings. President Trump will lose. But then President Trump will die of a stroke because he has been poisoned. Now, this can be taken one or two ways. Some can say it's an instigator. Some can say controlled opposition. Helen, I'm with you. I worry about this statement. What Helen means here is in another Bernie is how Bernie came out in October of 2020 telling us the vote will stop counts. Here will be the states, will be the mail-in ballots. You'll think Trump have won. Then you're going to find out it's really Biden. Trump's not going to leave the White House, blah, 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 blah. I know it sounds like BS, but I'm not putting it in the BS category. Now, I want to take one statement. I want to run this to ground because it's worthy. Robbie said, Alex put out what he thinks the deep state will do to prevent it. You didn't hear what I said. The deep state wants to prevent Trump from operating. I told you they're going to win the midterms, so that's not it. The deep state wants President Trump indicted again, brought up on impeachment again. I told you, I think that's going to happen. The deep state wants Trump to be indicted and go away. And I'm telling you, and this indictment's going to be worse, and they're going to find stuff. What Alex added to it is that after all that, then Trump will die of a stroke because of poison. Now, I got to go back to your question there. Why would they do that after the fact? Yes, anything's possible. We're dealing with satanic thing. But I got to tell you something here. Evil must tell you what they're going to do. They must always tell you their plan. And it's when, look, you think Biden just made a fumbling, dumbass statement, the largest fraud organization ever organized. No, you don't get it. They must say what's going to happen and be done out loud. And that's the law of angels and demons and God and how all the spirituality works. And if people don't hear it and understand what they're doing and push back to prevent it, then I'm saying, this one concerns me. Now, on that one statement only, that President Trump will die of a stroke because he's been poisoned over it, what do you think of that singular statement being uttered by Alex Jones? What do you think? Some say maybe it's trying to preempt the movie. Don't know. Some say maybe it's an instigator. Give somebody an idea. Manifesting. Yeah, you don't repeat that stuff. I'll tell you an interesting story. True story. You've seen me talk about, time that y'all saw me on History Channel's longest running, most successful series, which is The Curse of Oak Island. And of course, the producers came to me and my team and said, hey, help us figure this out and understand really how to do this. So we came in for season 2, did the whole season, taught the people, taught the crew, taught the producers, here's real exploration, here's what you do. Now, I always called out the producers of Curse of Oak Island because the thing you've heard on History Channel, for those that watch it, you've heard a 7th must die before the treasure is revealed. A 7th must die. And they're milking the shit out of that series. And I'll tell you that in a minute too. A 7th must die in order for the treasure to be real. So you understand the backstory. Curse of Oak Island's been around forever, hundreds of years. Some brothers finally bought 50% of it, and they decided, okay, we'll do a series. History Channel's talked them into it. History Channel went in, shot a season, 6 episodes, only 5 aired. And they knew that people were fascinated with this story, but they had no idea, how do you really execute something like this? What do you do when you bring real expertise to it? And so they reached out to my team. I have the only terrestrial team in the world, meaning works on land. And when there's water involved, it's on land. It's not ocean stuff, whole different category. And so I agreed to come in for the producers. I'll teach your production team. I'll bring in the right tools and expertise. I'll bring in the tools of the trade and exploration. And we'll chart a new course other than walking around looking for bits of woods on a beach. That was my duty to the series. And so, I brought in my dive team. We got into 10X for the first time. I brought into the Titanic team for scanning, all this other stuff. And here's how you plot these things out and read them. So I took them off island for the first time. I took them to look at petroglyphs and hieroglyphics that are there, all kinds of stuff. But I always had a problem with when a seventh dies, the treasure will be revealed because it exists nowhere. It's TV bullshit. It's TV bullshit. And I told Kevin, the great, fantastic producer of the series, who has also now since died, I said, this is shit, and you're breathing this into being. And I'm putting my people in this hole, right? The producers made it up. Total made up. And I said, I want you to understand, when you breathe these things into being, and you get millions of people talking about it, you're going to open a door you can't fucking close. He would never walk it back. It became too important to the mythology. And then it happened in fast succession. Craig Tester, the third partner with the brothers, his precious 16-year-old son died in his sleep. I spent a lot of time with his son. There on the island, young kid, eager to learn, experience of his life, participating in this thing. His young son died in his sleep, 16 years old. Fit, great looking, smart kid, dead. Then you're assigned producers when you do stuff. The producer we're assigned, Matt, again, great kid. Really, it's the history television show Curse of Oak Island, and the curse is bullshit, that seventh must die. Well, I just told you about the seventh must die. Matt, one of our great producers, hand in hand. We're supposed to film on island, and we're going to get access to information that has never been had before. And this comes from Pirate Treasure Curse Shit. They just tied it all together. Matt didn't show up to get this really old document, which is uncharacteristic of Matt. Do a welfare check on Matt at his home. He's on his knees in a praying position on his couch, dead. The two older fellows have died. That's added more. Even more had died. But those are the first two. And I had a material issue with it. You don't put things, and we're talking about Alex Jones, you don't put things like that out into the world and just think it has no power. But when you came up with this absolute fabricated tale that 7 must die in order for the island treasure to be revealed, just because 6 people died before us before we went into the money pit and finally went in and saw it down there, you don't make up shit like that. But more importantly, you just don't do that shit. Because words matter and words have energy. I'll tell you one more quick story on this one. And this has to do with my ethic and my stuff. When I agreed to do the Curse of Oak Island, just like doing my audit, number one, our work is our work. I own it. You don't. You cannot stop me from talking about what we discover, because this is what we do professionally. You may choose to use it or not on the program, but you can't stop it. I told them up front what Oak Island really was, how it worked to history. It's incredibly important to the history of North America. Everything. It's all the Americas. And one of the first times you see me before we go into the field and, do what we do, put our lives at risk, we sat down for about 8 hours. Right? 8 hours. And I'm taking them through a history of Oak Island going back to ancient Mesopotamia. So over 8 hours, I'm taking them on this journey, DNA, language, right? Symbology, etc. I'm taking them on this entire history coming this way. Now, you'll recognize this because one of the things media said about me was he was a failed treasure hunter who used to look for the Ark of the Covenant. Again, total bullshit. Total bullshit. And so if any of you ever go back and watch the series and you watch where you do hear me say the Ark of the Covenant, you got to watch the television screen behind my head. Right? Because each time the camera cuts back and forth, you see that screen change. And what you're looking at on the screens, I'm taking them through ancient Proto-Canaanite Berber, and I'm showing them ancient Carthaginian coins that were found in Nova Scotia right up from the island. And I'm giving them this information. Part of that is a story that begins, ironically, with Imhotep, comes all the way through to the founding of Scotland, and Nova Scotia is New Scotland. And I'm taking them through everything, right? I'm recovering from where I lost my voice for a while, Marilyn. Anyway, so I'm taking them through it. Part of the story is telling them, how does all of this relate biblically? And the way they relate biblically, and you can go research this on your own, is by a thing called the Stone of Destiny. Now, you know the Stone of Destiny. Most people just don't know what it is. Well, if you were to look at the kings and queens of England, Scotland, etc., and you look in the base of their throne, there is a stone there. A big stone, right? That stone is the Stone of Destiny. That stone is the stone that Jacob laid his head on to sleep when he dreamed of Jacob's ladder and saw the angels going up and down the ladders into heaven and back. It's a very important stone. Well, that stone was always kept with the Ark of the Covenant. So I'm showing them through all of this. Here's the Proto-Canaanite. Here's how it comes into Berber. Here's how it ties to ancient Libya. Here's where Jeremiah, remember, Jeremiah was told by God the second temple is going to fall, and you've got to go take the holy relics and hide them. What I'm doing is I'm telling the story of Jeremiah. And I'm doing it by showing these ancient relics. And I'm saying, and I show them in Scotland, there is a stone which is an exact duplicate of the Ark of the Covenant. Most people never talk about it. And when you sit on the stone and look out the ocean, you're looking directly across, if you could see it, you can't, at Nova Scotia. And I'm explaining how all of this ties together. And so, in that little bitty clip that the History Channel used, because we turned the show into a massive hit by really bringing true national treasure skills to it, and I'm showing them stuff they had no idea of, they decided that when I mentioned Ark of the Covenant, and I'm telling the history of Jeremiah, the one that wasn't a bullfrog, and all the ancient pharaonic ties, and he left with the Pharaoh's daughters. One of the daughters was Scotia, and I'm explaining all of this and how all of this came about over a history of a few thousand years. Well, they took that piece where my mouth uttered the Ark of the Covenant, where Dan had asked me, what do you think's down here? Well, they took where I'm saying in a previous thing, the Ark of the, and like I just told you with the stone, that stone is an exact replica of the Ark of the Covenant. Well, they took that clip and they butted it up. That's what the news calls me a failed, or not the news, but media bullshit calls me failed treasure hunter who looked for the Ark of the Covenant. That is where it comes from. You can see it for yourself. You just got to understand to look at it. Just you got to watch the screen behind our heads, and you're seeing that change in rapid succession because you're seeing an 8-hour meeting condensed down to a 1-minute soundbite via editing. Anyway, the reason I tell you this, for me, has a direct correlation to my forensic work. Remember, I was a forensic historian. Now, you know, I'm a forensic researcher. That's where all my patents come from, right? And now I'm doing this part of it. The reason I tell you that is because it's one of the sobering lessons I had to learn about all of this bullshit politics stuff. So to me, it was important as a historian. Remember, I've written several hundred history books. Most people don't even know that about lost treasures, lost histories, hundreds of books. And so for me to get a chance to participate in something that was several hundred years old that nobody could solve, and I actually had rock solid information on, which, by the way, they just released a new stone found in ancient Israel, telling old biblical stories, and contains 3 of the symbols you'll find on the Oak Island stone. But anyway, I digress. So that's why I did it. It's a part of history. That's, you know, John Wayne was there, Errol Flynn, right? The Astors, right? All these. So I'm going to put myself in history. I'm fucking game. I'm there. If I can help in any way, I'm in. Before it was a challenge I couldn't resist. Look, you got this island that nobody solved. It finally becomes a television show. It's great to history. There's been tons of books written about it. And they know that television fans are going to love this. They shot a show and they can see there's life here. They just don't know what to do with it. Well, I'm the guy that got the fucking call. Nobody else. I got the call. Anyway, the night before the season 2 premieres, I get a call from the producer, Kevin, and he says, we cannot thank you enough for how much you've taught us and taught the team and really how to look at this and how to do it so we're not walking around, I think it's a stick, sniffing. But then he said, but I want to let you know, as a production company, and he knew, I told him, Oak Island's very ancient, has a lot of history. But the one thing he made sure to tell me, he says, when you see yourself, don't be alarmed. He said, when you see yourself, you're going to hear things that are not as you said them. And I said, what do you mean? He says, I want you to understand, as a producer, we only have one goal. And that's to get to 100 episodes. Most shows, it's like 1 out of 500, maybe 2 out of 500 will ever get to season 2. Right? For me, in my episodes, I'm batting 1,000. Series I developed, all went on. So, you're talking 1 or 2 out of 500 ever get to season 2. So he says, as producers, my job is to get to 100 episodes. And I just want you to understand that. And that's where we ultimately had the parting of ways. Their job is viewers, and my job is history. And I'm trying to tell them, fuck this treasure legend. This is the most important archaeological find ever found in the Americas. And it opens so much more than you can ever imagine. And that's what we parted ways over. Because I take the scans, and I remember being in Traverse City, and we made a 3D full-scale rendering of what we found below, and it's a fucking sarcophagus. It's laid out, like on the tables, and say, you're either going to cover the truth or I can't do it. They said, well, if we ask you, if we're not going to cover it and we say we're not going to talk about it, you're going to sue us. And I told Rick and Marty, I'm not going to sue you. That'd be stupid. But I'm also not going to do this TV shit. You're in a different realm than I. So we parted ways, which is fine. Scan crew that I brought in stayed behind and did other stuff. The reason I tell you that part of it, and we got on this because of Alex Jones saying that we're going to lose the midterms. They're going to impeach Trump. They're going to find him guilty. And then Alex Jones went on to say that President Trump is going to have a stroke and die because he was poisoned. And I'm talking about, you never say that stuff, which led me to Curse of Oak Island, and the seventh must die, and the treasure will be found. Is total fabricated bullshit. But in my book, it ended up killing other people because you do that. And so I give you that because I learned the same thing in politics. I am hardcore. It is what it is, what it is, what it is, and here it fucking is. In everything I do. I don't want to bend this way to get viewers. I don't want to bend this way to raise more money. I don't want to bend that way to extend it. The truth is what the truth is. I've always been that way. And so I learned hard in television stuff. They needed me more than I needed them. But if you're not really going to tell the truth, I'm not here to be on reality TV. I've fucking spent years on TV. I don't need to be on TV or be some reality TV star. That's not what I do. So we go here, and telling you that is, this political world's the same. You can be an absolute warrior for truth and fight for truth. But in politics, they too are chasing the same three things: popularity, eyeballs, and money. It's the same thing, no difference. It's the TV business all fucking over again. And the TV business doesn't want truth. And here's why. It's how the producer described it to me. He says, Jovan, we know what your team found. We know what this means, and we thank you for that. He says, but our job, if somebody thinks Bigfoot did it, the Freemasons did it, the Templars did it, the Spanish did it, the Aztec did it, we have to cover everyone because we're trying to bring them all into the fold. We don't want an answer. He said, because the answer, very simply, and he says, I know you understand this, the answer means the end of the program. And that's not our job. When it comes to elections, answers mean the end of bad elections. Somebody asked me, Jovan, wouldn't you want to be on The Bachelor? Fuck no. How fucking stupid is it to think you can meet somebody on a TV show, 90 Day Fiance, and that's the love of your life? I'd fuck them all and give them a test ride, but I certainly wouldn't fucking marry one. Are you kidding? So the answers mean no episodes. Oh man, boatloads. I did the math on the boatloads of the fucking corn, that the corn plugs the holes. What a bunch of stupid fucking shit, Joe. Joe, I remember you from back then. You understand? Fucking A. Everybody now knows, and I just wanted to expose it. At the bottom of Oak Island are the PCAPs. They just don't want it to come out. Let's move on. Enough fucking wasted time on that. We were talking about Alex Jones. Was he a prophet or a puppet? But he says President Trump is going to be assassinated. We got on it. I just don't, for views or not, you don't fucking speak that shit out loud. Now, maybe some people will consider it preemptive, but if you really believe it, you're working with the fucking president and Secret Service and you're making sure it doesn't happen. You're not fucking putting out on the airways. Here's your next one. Ready? Scott Presler. Is he productive or just a paid shill? Now, what we're doing, folks, is I'm asking 10 questions that we're following on Twitter. And you're answering questions. Right? Great hair. Right? But is Scott Presler productive or a paid shill? Ready? Okay. I have a little bit of history with Scott Presler. Way back. Trump won. So it started pre-Trump won. No, we didn't date. 5-10 minutes apart. Wasn't a date. That's not a date. Stupid ass question. Okay. So my first interaction with Scott Presler was he probably had, 30,000 followers on Twitter. I had several times that back then. Old previous account, not this account. And I reached out to Scott and I said, Scott, you're a conservative. I'm a conservative. How in the fuck did Twitter blue shield your account? Because see, remember back then, Twitter would vet you. Twitter would say, okay, Twitter would this. And I'm going, that's the fucking belly of the beast. How in the fuck did you get a blue shield? I go, it doesn't matter how much I try to dialogue with Twitter. And they say a shield is for a known person. It's just kind of like your Wikipedia. It's a known person in society. And I'm going, you can study my work at over 160 universities, have 500 patents. I've written several hundred books. I've been all over TV, ABC, NBC, CBS, all of these. And I can't fucking get a blue shield. And what he said was he had somebody help him out. I never really paid attention to it. But I'm battling back then. I'm in the 100,000+ followers, and he's got a blue shield with such a far account. Just like, and I knew it was a rig because you could see people back then with blue shields that had 100 followers, but they were just a liberal shill spitting out liberal shit, and they would just hand out the blue shield to validate him. So I'm going, why the fuck is Scott validated? Jump forward. We're in administration 1. I in DC. I just left the Trump Hotel. We're over at basically Trump Inc., meaning presidential campaign office, etc. before in. And they were having a problem inside internally. And they really wanted somebody who could be President Trump's right hand. I saw this kid, Scott Presler, out there fucking kicking ass. I got asked, who would you recommend be President Trump's campaign here, well, right there, assistant that President Trump could trust? I actually recommended Scott. Now, I naively thought for a long time that, and I wasn't ignored, but this was, I originally thought for a very long time that they ignored Scott just because he was gay, which I thought was stupid, right? Who gives a shit that he, belongs in a pink palm dress and, ponytails? He does a good job. And you want somebody fighting for the cause. But I made that recommendation, and man, it died as fast as it happened. I thought it was just because he was gay. I now know they knew because of Scott's father, who is a GOP operative and mover, what was going on. I didn't. I was out of the loop. I was trusting. So I now know, looking back with hindsight, why they didn't consider my recommendation. I was following somebody who I felt was effective. I've had tons of gay people work for me. I don't give a shit about that. You do your fucking job. You do it to top notch. I don't give a shit about any of that. We just make this work. Anyway, that's my little thing of Presler. So what is he? Is he a shill? Is he productive? Many of you now, as time goes by, and I kind of believe this a bit myself, he's a paid shill. And when you really look at it, here is the president. I'm telling the president, fucking get rid of mail-in ballots. And the GOP is paying Scott an ungodly amount to telling them, no, bank your vote. And bank your vote is early voting and paid ballot. I think when I look at it, that he was marched around. Yeah, I couldn't fucking get a blue shield back then. I've been almost on every major news program in the country, on every major city newspaper, almost every major magazine. 160 universities writing my work. They actively try to scrub this now all over. And back then, I couldn't get a blue shield. Scott did. I now realize there's just a lot I was naive to. Right? And yes, he should donate his hair to cancer patients. That'd be a nobler deed. Maybe he just thinks Bob doesn't go with his dress. I don't know. And yes, President Trump stopped. I said, this is the shill. Directly to the president, I called him out for it. And he stopped. GOP still pulled tons into it. And stuck to the script. So what do you think? Shill or productive? Shill or productive? I think all of that was a script. Every bit of it. Right? Every bit of it. That's my take on it. Here's the next one. You ready? What we're doing is 10 things. These are tending to be trending on Twitter. I'm watching people's dialogue. And yeah, Presler made a ton of fucking money. Most of you agreeing it's shill. Anyway, ready? Boom. Candace Owens. Correct or corrupt? Did I spell corrupt right? Yeah, I think. Correct or corrupt? What do you think about Candace? What is she? What is she? Correct or corrupt? I'm getting all kinds of things. Lunatic, crazy, psycho killer, clueless, mental case. She's lost her marbles. Bought and paid for, corrupt, demon possessed, click core Candace. Candace nuts. She likes to scream. Some said a crusader. Conductor on the retard hype train. Some say worth listening to. A Black Valley girl. She's cute as a button. Click core Candace, lost. Butt hurt, Charlie Kirk didn't marry her. Corrupt, crazy. Data scraper Candace. Candace gone wild. She's a cute girl. I liked her. I thought she was the bomb. I thought she was smart and buttoned up. I bet she'd be fun. Naked. I told you I always tell you the truth. But man, I'm sorry, but something's wrong. Something happened. Something happened. It's not even news, and it's not even newsworthy. It's not even, from an investigative standpoint, indicative of anything, but some of the stuff she's saying. Wow. And so most people are saying she's lost her marble. It's just like me. I liked her at first, right? She went down the Jew hate road. She's found a track that makes her money. She's sticking in it. And I do believe, like Wampa Panog, they self-promoters. They throw shit out there, see what sticks. If it sticks, they run with it as long as they can. But for me, something happened. And I felt that she would have been very good to the party. And I think the party used the shit out of her, but it was the party that wants chaos, not the party that wants to win. Sailor Linda says, I like that she's asking questions. Okay. Let's see if I can find this. I think I have it. Hang on. Somebody posted that, you're just not telling the truth, Jovan. You're a smart guy, but I can't believe it that you're saying Candace was wrong, because think about it. Erica Kurt, now all of a sudden, with no background, she has a CEO. And so I said to the person on Twitter, which is where these questions come from, which is exactly where this one comes from, because I engaged in that dialogue, he thought I was bad. And yes, we should always ask questions. But, you don't say like, when was it that Trump raped that little kid? You don't do bullshit like that. There's no answer to that. Come on. But here's what I said. He says, she just took over. That was her plan. She infiltrated Charlie. And I'm paraphrasing, blah, blah, blah. And I'm adding the tone because it was Twitter. And he says, it's not right, nothing that up. And I said, do you not understand that Turning Point USA is a private organization owned by Charlie Kirk? And I said, she's the heir. She's the heir. And in the heir, she took over control as CEO. I said, it happens. There's nothing about that. It goes to the family. He doesn't have any aged kids in it or brothers and sisters that wouldn't do it. So that's it. Then he came back and said, well, I appreciate you responding, but it's not typical when somebody dies for just a spouse, a wife, to take over the company or whatever, or politics. It's not typical. So, you know me, I wrote back. And I said, okay, you're saying it's not typical for the spouse to take over. I said, but what do you say to these? I said, if you look at the Bissell Corporation, it happened there when the spouse died. It happened at the Washington Post. Happened for the Tootsie Roll with the Gordons. And it's a known fact it happened with Turning Point USA. I said, how can you deny that? And it's a private organization. I said, but if you're just thinking it's politics. I said, you don't know your history. Pop quiz. How many times has a spouse in politics? And yes, Erica's been involved in Turning Point ever since she's been with Charlie. And they did it on Landman. See, you're right. It happens. But do you know how many times it's happened in politics? How many times in politics has a spouse stepped in to complete, take over, or continue a deceased spouse's term? Do you know that? Lots in politics, a lot more. It's happened 8 in the U.S. Senate, 40 times in the U.S. House of Representatives. That was 48 women that did that took those seats. 45 women in history have directly succeeded their husbands. I said it happens even more in politics. But again, people are all over this. You're not getting Fred out. She's asking questions. There's no way Erica should have got in. Anybody can ask a question. Anybody can say, well, it's not normal for a wife to take over a multi-million-dollar organization. Yeah, even Dr. Jill took over for Biden. Turning Point USA was wildly successful, but when Charlie died, the funding floodgates opened. To try to say that Erica did that so she could get a hold of it is stupid. Totally stupid. But again, people don't check history. They just don't check their history. Here's your next one. You ready? 2 more. These are 10 questions that I'm watching dialogues going on Twitter. So I want to ask you, what do you think's going on? You ready? Marjorie Taylor Greene. Is she brave or is she outed? I'm going to go back. Montana says, apparently some videos come up where Erica supposedly felt put down by Charlie Kirk about him being the head of the household, talking about him being the head of the household. Send me the video. Don't tell me what somebody told you. Send me the video. Let's look at it. Let's see what we get it from it. But there's a difference between somebody telling you there is video and there is video. But I mean, come on. Candace's new thing is she can confirm Charlie was killed because Charlie's toddler woke up at 2:45 in the morning and wanted a snack and made a loud noise. I kid you not. Okay. Brave or outed for Marjorie Taylor Greene. Some of you are saying there's something wacky about it. It is. Joe said he used to have the hots for MTG. Most people say outed. Laura says outed. Gail says a quitter. Bad temper tantrum. Outed and butt hurt. That's two different things. I think there could be a butt hurt part of this, right? What is it? Most of you are saying she went off the reservation. It's kind of a common theme. Outed as a backstabber. She's fake, wanted illegals to make money off her company, wants to be president or being told to run. Who knows? She's outed, went off the reservation, got her pension. I'm not sure she got her pension. I'm not sure she was there long enough, but I could be wrong. Never liked her, gold digger, outed. What the fuck? You can bounce a quarter off her butt. Yeah, but can you catch it in your teeth, between your teeth on the bounce as it comes back up? Marjorie Taylor Greene was only for Marjorie Taylor Greene. What do you think? Some say she gave up too easily. Yes, it appears her butt hurt might come from her butt buddy McCarthy, who is her boyfriend, right? Who knows? I don't know. Some are saying, I like this one. Let's not tell the Dems, but Marjorie Taylor Greene is infiltrating the left, earning trust, and as a patriot, I can't wait to see how this plays out. Interesting. I quite quintessentially agree with the quota that we need to get. Yeah. Oh, shit. You probably cars to shit storm on that one. It's going to be the new Q drop. Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's a Frank Lutz butt buddy too. Well, Frank Lutz wouldn't be butt buddies with her, but other dudes, but they're buddies. And I saw that Lutz was named in the Epstein stuff. I don't know. Did I read that wrong? I don't know. Who knows? Some are saying I thought she was on the left, or she was on the left. Now she's returning to him. Don't know. But this is what people are talking about. She got butt hurt. Jovan has yelled at me plenty of times, but I'm still here. It's only because those Finnish chicks can take it that way. And that's why I love you so much. Unnerves me when the dogs watch, but it's okay. If that's your kink, I thought it was just me, but hey, I'm down with whatever makes the Finnish chick hot. Last one. You ready? What I've been doing is the 10 questions. Montana's been. You got to understand. You see her clapping here. It's only because she has the ability with her fine ass to butt clap. That was her in the video I used to play. But don't tell anybody. Okay. Ready? Last one. 10 questions going on. Those Finnish chicks. I got distracted. Ready? Mike Lindell. Is he the new political talent, or is he a paid prop? Is he the new political talent or paid prop? Salesman, paid prop, paid prop, paid prop. ADHD op. Where's the money? Finn, are you talking? I left it on your dresser. I showed you where I put it right under the fucking little perfume bottle. Oh, sorry. Legend in his own mind. Paid prop. Paid to derail us. Can't stand them. Schmuck. Paid puppet. Perfect politician. You could say that. Paid prop. It's interesting. I think people, in my opinion, Mike's a fool. First ex-crackhead millionaire I never heard of. Brain is scrambled. Lindell's a pain diva. Finest Giza Cotton. PCAP godfather. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. It's the machines. Like to know where he's hiding the money. Gullible. Cocaine bear. CIA has a photo of him with a dead hooker. Grabbed out of rehab to deceive the masses. Mike's a traitor. Oh, fuck us in Minnesota. Liar. Did I hear Giuliani bring up Jovan's name in an interview? If he did, send it to me. I don't know. What is it? Man, I've had a tough one. I, in my mind, protected Michael Lindell in many ways when I knew things were kind of going wrong. I just have to tell you, you don't tell the world you have all the voting data and how it was switched to foreign countries, and here all it is, and you got it all, and lawmakers are going to sit here and they can take it back to their teams for 300 some odd whatever, counties, and then keep on raising money, keep on raising money, keep on raising money, keep on raising money, keep on raising money. And then when you get to court, trial jury say you never had it. I don't get that. I don't get how somebody could be gullible to pay a highly questionable ex-CIA asset millions of dollars for the information. Mike never paid attention to any of us telling him that Dennis Montgomery was a rat bastard and this was crap. He never did it. Of course, he's got his great relationship with Bannon. Bannon makes a shitload of money off of Mike. Mike makes a shitload of money off of Bannon. But I don't know how Mike escapes it. Mike does have the support of the people. But again, I'm very pragmatic about this. How we have politicians that lie to us. I think we can all agree on that. But they usually, we don't know they're liars until they get in. Now, with this PCAP stuff, and I know a lot of you give him an excuse, say he was naive. Okay, I'm past that now. I don't think anybody can be that naive. But it's okay. But we're talking in politics. If he's the rising political star, great. A lot of people are riding their blow the whistles, blow Antifa, sneak in this, do that, PCAPs. A lot of people are trying to ride it to governorships. But here's my question. If we absolutely know that we do not fucking want politicians that will continually fucking lie to us, and it's all about just campaign money and shit, then what are you thinking about somebody who lied about the PCAPs? Many people are saying he's going to be rewarded the governorship for what he did. But let me go to the other one. A lot of people say Mike was naive and he was conned. It was a CIA operation. Mike was naive and he was conned. Okay, let's just take that one. Do you want a fucking governor that the CIA can run an operation on? Do you want a fucking governor that's naive? Think about that. There's no way to clean any of that up, which tells me uniparty shit. Don't just think that Democrats sucked billions out of Minnesota. Fucking GOP had its hand in well. So why is this, oh, Mike's naive, Mike's too trusting, Mike's this? Why isn't it, okay, we know this was a lie and he told it raised a ton of money. Maybe he wasn't naive and he's getting rewarded with a governorship. Wow. Do you ever think about that? What if that's it? Yeah, why would you elect a governor that never produced any evidence, right? Never. I have a problem with that one. And I'm watching. I've done one with Matt Gaetz before, by the way. We'll do more of these. I'm only taking kind of what's trending right now. Minnesota needs help. God bless Mike Lindell fighting his ass off. But I'm telling you, I personally cannot get past his team that sabotaged the PCAPs, his crap that told everybody it's the machines, me going all the way to sit down with President Trump saying, and President Trump said, well, I'll get rid of the voter rolls and this and this and this. And behind him, well, we're told don't mess with the voter rolls because they're sweeping a dirt floor. And it's Mike Lindell's team that have told Susie Wiles, President's right hand, this. That's just too much for me. That's too much. And damn, I want to give Mike the benefit of the doubt. But I'm telling you, it's too fucking much. You cannot write millions of checks, millions of dollars in checks to a fucking CIA asset who never delivered. And the only proof he ever brought was other people like Lone Raccoon. Yeah, I sat down with Mr. Montgomery, met him myself, looked through it all, and it's all valid. You can't look up the fact for me that his fucking team went looking for Tina Peters. Do you think it's serendipity that they got a fucking gold star mom? I don't. I just don't buy it. Then to get into court, there's no PCAPs. Every fucking person in the world gets fucking sued, including him, billion-dollar suits, because of Joe Altman saying, I infiltrated an Antifa call, and they said they were going to do it. It set up everybody. Every conservative news organization got sued. Billions of dollars of lawsuits. Billions. Billions paid in restitution, and Mike makes that guy his second in command. Gives him control of everything. Does that make any sense to you? Did Mike Lindell win a court case? No, he got fined. Is that a win? Did they present anything in court that showed any of the stuff? No. I got Eric Coomer on the stand. We're going to expose it all. Okay, Mr. Lindell, how many expert witnesses are you going to bring in? We're not going to present any evidence, Your Honor. They're trying to tell you that they can't show the PCAPs because it's protected by a government order from 2007. How does that work? How does that work? I just have a question. How does that work? And when you put all of these together, the very people that say, don't clean the voter rolls, Mike's people, what, 5, 6 organizations across the country were fixing this? Mike's behind them all. Sit in the president's office. We got to get rid of these voter rolls. Here it is. Well, Lindell team tell us not to do it. No PCAPs, nothing for any senators, anybody to take back. None. Admission in court. promotes the guy that got everybody sued, makes him second in fucking command. They made millions off the stock. Millions. But they're all broke. What am I missing? You don't know how long I struggled with all of this, but what am I missing? So with that said, these are the things. These are the 10 things that are kind of trending up now. I'm going to let you have the last word, put it on screen. What is it? What have we seen in all of this stuff? Is the theater really this much of a theater? Are we really all just this behind the 8 ball? Right? Are we really this gullible? Yeah, he brings in his math expert to tell you it happened because he looked at the 2010 fucking census. Yeah, imagine that. A proven liar for governor? That's weird. I mean, I tried. I thought too, if Mike felt he had been Hoonweek, he would have come clean. He never has. I don't get it, folks. I don't get it. But I do know one thing. It's fucking chaos theater. And Mike Lindell and his team, and anybody can truly in election integrity can tell you this, sucked all of the money out of the room. Anybody that wanted to support anything in election integrity sucked it out. Why do you even set up 4 or 5 or 6 organizations under different names? Why is that? If I didn't answer any questions, it's because I'm not covering it in this show. I took these 10. I wanted to know your feedback. This was all about your feedback. I appreciate every one of you. We need your help. This stuff about midterms coming is going to kick our ass, folks. Got Georgia. Boxes missing, but they're still focusing on other shit. Only one place has got this evidence, folks, and I'm telling you, we need your help. Share this program.
Our courts are based on clear and convincing evidence. Want convictions? Want justice? For what happened in the 2020 election? Then we need your help. Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The decision you make in the next few moments could decide whether we ever get our elections fixed or not. Here's why. Trump campaign and allies filed 64 different lawsuits. They all went down in flames. 100% of these cases were presented on "It's the machines," or "The machines changed the votes," or "The voting company executive said he would make sure Donald J. Trump would not win." They all went down in flames. Why? You can't bring theories to court as evidence. No supposed Zoom call or 6-degree polynomial math theory or census data is or ever will be proof of fraud. You can't bring theories to court as evidence. Here's why. In both civil and criminal law, the side making a claim carries the burden of proof, and prosecutors must prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Without physical or otherwise verifiable evidence, a case cannot meet this high threshold. Physical evidence is the key. The question is, did anyone get relevant, reliable, provable, testable, and duplicatable evidence of what really happened in the 2020 general election? And the answer is yes, absolutely. The full forensic audit of Maricopa County, Arizona is the only evidence-gathering work which gathered relevant, reliable, provable, testable, and duplicatable evidence of what really happened in the 2020 general election. Evidence so damning that the system, the deep state, and those who pull the strings of this country have fought to keep it hidden and have hoped to have it be forgotten to time. Almost $3 million invested in time, funds, and efforts to unlock that which the system wanted hidden. But now, that evidence is in danger of being lost forever. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then we need your help. Please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. With the 2026 midterms coming up, the system is going to try to lame duck President Trump and then most likely introduce new impeachment proceedings. This is the evidence which will help win the war which is surely to come. We need to keep Maricopa County full forensic investigation and archive secure and ongoing. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then we need your help. Please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. We need your help securing the full forensic audit archives. Don't allow the only testable, objective, and reliable 2020 election evidence fall into obscurity. Millions were spent on getting it documented and tested. This is historic evidence. Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The historic Maricopa County full forensic audit effort processed 20,895,610 digital and forensic images of varying formats, resulted in 208 million individual evidence-proof files. The system processed over 58 billion forensic measurements, resulting in over 2 trillion individual base computations. No hopium, no hype, just hardcore forensic evidence. Please make sure the Maricopa County full forensic audit archives survive. Donate now. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. We can't do it without you. We need you. America needs you. Our future needs you. Please donate now. Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. Please donate now.